tour begins in Lima, but before we go anywhere, let's meet our tour manager.
I was born in Cusco. You are lucky because your tour manager is the last Inca. I'm 97% Inca. Quechua. Unfortunately, as nothing is perfect, 3% Spanish.
Lima is the capital and the largest city in Peru. It clings to the Pacific coast on towering cliffs. Farther down, a 3-story shopping mall is built right into the cliffs, and paragliders tilt and soar on the steady ocean breezes. Lima is so big that it's divided into 41 districts, each with its own mayor, and there's a top mayor over all of them. Our brief look at the city included a stop at the convent of San Francisco. It took about 100 years to build and was completed in 1774. No photos were allowed inside, so these come from the web. But we saw bone-filled catacombs with remains of 25,000 people, and those are just the ones found so far. Also inside, a beautiful cloister with frescoes, tile work, plus a magnificent old library and a beautiful church. A short walk brings us to a beautiful park and the Plaza Mayor, surrounded by brightly colored buildings with intricately carved wooden balconies. Along one side is the well-guarded presidential palace. The crowds are waiting for a changing of the guard that, on this day, never happened. An early start to the day has us on a plane for Cusco. We're greeted at the airport by women in native costume, and the first of what turns out to be an endless parade of vendors vying for our attention and our solace, the Peruvian dollar. We pass by Cusco for now and head to the town of Chinchero, walking slowly as ordered to adjust to the increase in altitude. The figures of 2 bulls often adorn the rooftops here, a symbol of fertility. The still life also usually contains a cross and sometimes a ladder, indicating that either a soul in the household has ascended to heaven or one has come down to earth as a newborn. In Chinchero, we are treated to a hearty lunch featuring a variety of Peruvian dishes, soup, fava beans, just a few of the 4,000 types of potatoes grown in the region, and coca tea. It does help with the altitude. And the meat? Guinea pig. I didn't have a large piece, but yes, it does taste like chicken. Most families raise guinea pigs in the house, and people are often seen carrying large bundles of barley to feed the little guys. After the meal, a lively demonstration of weaving, starting with soft alpaca wool washed with a root that foams up into a natural soap.
In our village, we don't use woolite.
I don't use woolite.
The next step is to pull the cleaned wool into strands, which can then be dyed in many colors. Leaves, herbs, and even a cactus parasite are used to create the permanent dyes brought to a boil in steaming pots.
Okay, 1, 2, and 3.
The backstrap loom is where the magic happens. It takes 5 to 6 hours of weaving each day for a month, on average, to make a typical table runner. The patterns are memorized and passed down from generation to generation. After Chinchero, we take a rather wet tour of the Inca ruins at Ollantaytambo. At the top there is a temple, though few have the energy or the breath to climb up just yet. On the mountain opposite there are the remains of Inca storehouses and a face carved into the gray rock. We're spending a couple of nights in Urubamba, a town next to a river of the same name. There are red markers or flags indicating bars are open, though the bar may be no more than a corrugated steel shed. The dusty streets are home to moto taxis, and there are dogs everywhere. They're either sleeping or roving in small packs. 90% of them, we're told, are owned, but they are allowed to wander wherever they wish. Machu Picchu Day begins at a bleary-eyed hour. First, a bus ride to the train station, then the train, following the river through the mountains, not far from the famous Inca Trail. The train stops in Aguas Calientes, where you take a shuttle bus up a steep, switchbacked dirt road to the top. After a short walk from the entryway and through a stone passage, you catch the first heart-stopping glimpse of what you've waited so long to see, that marvel of mountain engineering that is Machu Picchu.
Great. Machu Picchu. Does anybody knows what is the meaning of this word?
No. Ancient peak. Ancient peak.
Ancient peak. Close but not cigar.
We spend hours winding our way through the maze of buildings and terraces featuring different styles of stonework, the rougher, though still amazing, everyday construction method used for storehouses and residences, and at one time covered with thatched roofs. Then there are the knife-edged, perfectly fitted walls made for temples or the homes of priests and royalty. It's still unclear how the Inca could have carved them to fit so precisely. Special care was taken to angle the walls and doorways to withstand earthquakes.
So they developed amazing techniques to have really strong constructions. One of them is the trapezoid shape.
Up and down we climb, looking down to the Urubamba River that circles the base of the site a mile or more below. This quarry is the source of the white granite used to build Machu Picchu. The beautifully curved wall of the Temple of the Sun hugs a huge natural stone which was used as an altar. There are many other temples and altars. The large main temple with stones jumbled by an earthquake. The Intihuatana, sometimes called the hitching post of the sun, another place to offer sacrifices to the gods. Another altar is half hidden in a natural cave, embellished with carved steps and thought to be a royal tomb. The jagged rim of the sacred rock mimics the soaring peaks around us, all wreathed with clouds. But we must climb to that guard tower to get the postcard views of Machu Picchu. Hard work. But worth it as the city spreads out before us in all its stunning glory. It survived because it was never found by the Spanish conquerors. You wish you could just sit and soak in the power of the place, without other tourists, of course. But there's a train to catch, and we must go, descending a knee-jarring trail to the shuttle bus and then the train ride back. This time, we were treated to some dancing. And a bit of a fashion show put on by the crew. The next day was spent recovering from the rigors of Machu Picchu by sleeping in and then wandering around Cusco. Religious monuments cap some of the surrounding mountains, while a stately Inca reigns over the Central Plaza fountain and a lovely square filled with flowers and flanked by two Spanish cathedrals. During the evening, crowds gathered for some sort of event having to do with race car drivers, while children tumbled and played in the park. Next came a day-long bus ride to Puno and Lake Titicaca, but with some very interesting stops along the way. We visited the Virgin of Fatima Elementary School to deliver the school supplies we brought. We were in the first grade classroom where the kids sang a little song for us.
Salten, saltan, saltan los conejitos, oía, alguien llegaba.
They showed us their work, learning to make words in Spanish. Their native language is Quechua. More singing and a little ceremony outside. Gate 1 has adopted this school and will be doing the same with others, believing that education is the only thing that will provide a way to success for these rural children. A few parents stood by as well, grateful for the cooking pots, cups, and plates that our tour fees helped purchase. Many of the kids gave us big hugs, and they were absolutely one of the main highlights of the trip. We also stopped at a place called Rachi. After a short walk, you come upon the remains of a unique Inca temple, a huge adobe center wall built on a stone foundation with round stone pillars to hold up the roof on either side. Men worshipped on one side of the wall, women on the other. Round storehouses by the dozen flanked the site, which was an important administrative center for the Inca. In the small town square, an extra treat, a wedding. The priest led the party around the square, stopping for blessings. The cast included highly decorated statues carried on platforms, Attendants also were wearing colorful costumes with fake sheep, I'm guessing to bring prosperity upon the new couple. The next couple of nights were spent in Puno on the shores of the famed Lake Titicaca, which, as we all learned in elementary school, is the highest navigable lake in the world. The highlight here was a trip to the floating reed islands where the Euro people live. On the way out, we see fishermen working together in a circle to corral kingfish. We are visiting the island called Sumasaka. Our first steps on the plush reeds feel amazing. We're greeted by each resident speaking in Aymara, to which we've been taught to reply Waliki, meaning I am fine.
And I am the president of this island, and in the name of the 6 families who are living here, I welcome you.
The presidency changes each year. Those who want the job gather, and the island residents simply point to their choice. Through the local guide, Braz, the 38-year-old president explains how the ubiquitous totora reeds are used to build the islands. Big blocks of roots and dirt are cut from the lake bed. Because the roots are hollow, the blocks are light and float like cork. Stakes driven through the center of each block are tied together with rope, thus growing the island's base. Layer after layer of fresh reeds are piled on top, with more added every couple of weeks as the old ones break down. Houses are also built of reeds, as are the boats. The Euros also have another use for the totora.
Yes. Even nowadays, this white part that you see here, which is part of the root, they peel it as a banana and they eat it.
Oh, they eat it.
They do it. Like a banana. It has a lot of iodine.
Notice the colorful tassels tied to the women's long braids. Bright colors mean the woman is single. For married women, the tassels are black and bind the braids together. It's the custom for a man and woman to live together for a year or two and even have children before deciding whether to make it permanent. Women move to the man's island. Children go to elementary school on another island. There is trading of goods among the islands and with the mainland. The Sumasaka woman put on a little show for us, demonstrating how heated the bartering can become for fish, coca leaves, eggs, and birds.
Yeah, puppy means
Differently styled hats indicate which part of the region a woman is from. On this beautiful day, we also took a delightful ride among some of the islands on one of the reed boats, with a little in-flight entertainment from the boatman's daughter. It seems like a romantic, peaceful existence, but imagine 4 people living in this single-room reed hut. Living in the damp, we're told, also means there's rheumatism, along with water retention and some other medical issues. But the residents are uniformly welcoming and are pleased to offer their crafts for sale or entertain us with a bit of music.
What's up?
Modern touches are filtering in. Solar panels even power an ATM machine on one of the bigger islands, and there's talk of a reed tourist hotel going up. As you can see, Peru is a land of stark contrasts, modern and archaic, rich and poor, filled with color, music, and fascinating ancient sites. I hope you've enjoyed sampling just a little bit of it here.